I don't like this weird display thing. Sorry.
Yeah, you can turn it off. It's I told him to add it to the control panel.
We're live, by the way.
Yeah, I already had a warning in, so I don't know. We'll work on this later.
All right, are we starting the stream?
We have started.
We have started. Oh.
Yeah, I told you we're live. I've said it like 2 or 3 times.
Hey, people.
Yes. Oh, wow, this is pretty. Did you say it took several hours to spread this far?
It took 48 hours.
2 days.
Oh, am I looking at the wrong test? That's quite small.
The big 64 by 64.
Oh, I see it.
Oh,
Over
it's in the
here.
back.
I was like, that's quite a small space for that amount of spreading. Nice. Very good.
We should also switch to the stream channel, by the way. I will drag you guys
Original
over.
shroom location. I see. And some of these, I guess, are just red mushrooms. I guess.
Minecraft spreading is faster than shroomite spreading.
If you turn on hitbox, see them.
Oh, that's a good idea. I was looking for the particles. Oh, okay.
This took 48 hours, and I think that's reasonable.
Of it being fully loaded. Yeah, that seems alright, because... Yeah, that's not too fast. But it can spread, and it looks very, like... I like the fact that the edges aren't like a... It's not a perfect circle, it's kind of a patchy kind of...
Do you want me to explain why that is? Because it's actually pretty interesting.
I think a lot of people will be interested. Hey,
So-
Ender Stranger.
Let me just let this car drive by before I start talking.
Oh, okay. Are we in the stream chat, by the way?
Yep, I pulled this over.
Oh, great, thank you.
Alright, so why isn't this like a filled out circle by now? You would expect it if we just used spread players or something to randomize the spreading, that it would eventually fill out the entire fill-outable area and would turn into like a circle or a square. But what we did is, instead of using spread players, we start with an area effect cloud. Especially for those people who didn't catch last week's stream, we spawn an area effect cloud at the center of these boring mushrooms, or whatever you want to call them, and those area effect clouds wander outwards randomly. And that makes it so that it's way less likely for a block that's farther away from the mushroom to be turned into mycelium. These spores have a maximum step counter. They can only step 7 tiles. So it creates, in a 2D space, like this flat plane, it creates like a flow pattern, like water, like a diamond shape, with a radius of 7.
Mm-hmm.
However, unlike water, the blocks really far out are very unlikely to be turned into mycelium, because your spore would have to wander all the way out, and for that your spore would have to choose one direction a lot, and every time it takes a step, it randomizes the 4 directions you have on this plane.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really unlikely for a spore to travel to the outer regions. That's why we have this irregular shape, and it's really nice.
So I guess left long enough, you would end up with a kind of diamond pattern, but because new mushrooms are constantly being spawned...
Yep, it always fixes the diamond pattern and fills in like wonky edges. The mushroom spawning, we worked on it off camera, so it's not on last week's stream. Me and Special basically sat through it and talked about it a bit, and what we get working now is, it's a bit complicated, but we wanted to avoid large radii checks, since those are pretty hefty on servers. So what it does now is, it counts the steps a spore takes, and if a spore made 6 out of its 7 previous steps onto already existing mycelium, which means there's already a lot of mycelium around, then, and if it's at the end of its life, like these spores die after about 7 steps, then the spore will check, is there a mushroom within 4.5 blocks radius? If so, just cancel the mushroom planting, but if there's no mushroom nearby, then plant a new sporing mushroom if the block you're in is replaceable and so on. And this, of course, leads to a weird little quirk that isn't as important, we thought, but it's kind of interesting because you can see it in this test. So, since the distance tag selector works based on a circle, and our flow pattern for these spores is a diamond shape. You've got a larger area which is in this, which is not in the circle, but in the diamond shape, if that makes sense, on the diagonals, which is why these mushrooms form like a diagonal grid and not like straight grid.
Mm-hmm.
I hope that made sense. It makes sense to me, but it's hard to explain.
Yeah, kind of. I like the fact that the red mushrooms themselves spawn regular mushrooms, because it actually makes it a little bit hard to work out which one it is.
Unless you're cheating using F3
Yeah.
either this.
But if you, it means that you're more likely to spot it, I guess.
Also, another thing we did off camera
From a
is
distance.
when last stream ended, we mentioned that we wanted to add like a block palette for mushrooms to
Yes.
spread into.
I've actually just got this up on this stream now. I've got these four things open.
Yeah,
So
I
it's-
did that. I added the block palette. I went through all the blocks and looked through all the blocks that seemed reasonable for a spore to travel through, aka for air to travel through, with an exception of stairs and half slabs, because people probably want to build stairways out of these, and it's gonna be awkward if spores can just phase through them.
Mm-hmm.
So if you go to the stage area, Sparks,
Sure.
the little testing area here, it has most of the blocks that mushrooms can travel through. So pressure plates, trapdoors, rails. I guess you can see it for yourself.
Yeah, yeah.
There are also a couple of special blocks that kill spores, like water. If spores travel into water blocks, spores will travel into water blocks, so they will treat them as air. But once they go there, they will be killed. The same goes for cobwebs and lava.
Mm-hmm.
And sunflowers are a bit of a special case. Spores treat sunflowers as solid blocks, so they can't travel through them.
So you can kind of use them as walls.
Yeah, you could use cobwebs or water as well, but I thought sunflowers would be a nice touch.
Yeah, based on a terraria thing, did you say?
Yep. In Terraria, there's the corruption, and you can stop the corruption using sunflowers.
I love the fact that under spore_porous, you put spore_catcher as like a sub-referencing. That's really cool. So you can don't have to list these extra things again.
Yep. A really cool thing Mean Special did on the backstage testing area was if you travel there again. Sorry for the hopping in and out. You can't see it anymore, unfortunately. But at original shroom location 2, we had these 3 cobwebs, and if a spore can travel into these, and then it dies. And when only this room existed before it spread around the cobwebs, you could see like a shadow cast by these cobwebs.
Oh, that's so cool.
Like this, because the spores died when they traveled in this direction, but eventually a shroom spawned over here, and then it just spread around it.
That's really cool. I like this behavior. Hi, Spider.
Spider, spider, spider.
So I guess what we have to do today is cause the initial shrooms to spawn and do the whole mushroom contagion thing, right?
Yes. For the initial shroom spawning, which should be from players or mushrooms, I'm still not sure about that, how we decided on that, but for that we really need to make sure that they only spawn if there's no shroom present, and that we only run the check for shrooms present if it's really necessary, because that will be a radius check.
Okay. Alright, what would you like to do first then?
I don't know, what would you like to do first?
Well, what clocks do we currently have?
Yeah, let me talk you through the clock system actually, because there was quite a bit of progress made.
Yeah. Where am I looking? Main MC function to start with, I suppose?
Yeah, just start in main. I got to click your name still. There we go. So, in main, the first couple of lines, 1 to 6, yeah, just random kill commands to kill spores that are in catcher blocks, or kill spores that are not in a porous block. So if a player places a block on a spore, they can kill it. Or to kill the mushroom if it's not in the mushroom anymore.
Right, yeah.
Then if you take a look at line 8. That what handle line 8 and onwards handles the spawning of these spores. And we set up this basic clock last time. Basically, the entire main method is run on our Gamemode for clocking system, which pulses every 16 game takes. And we now increase the Gamemode for shroom time score every 16 game takes by 1. And use that to create an even slower clock, which pulses every 73 game ticks to spawn a new spore, or every 20 game ticks to move existing spores.
Spore spread, spore spawn. Yep.
Another smart thing that we did here is 73 is a prime number. We didn't want all of this executed on one shroom at a time, and we didn't want the shroom to handle multiple spore movements at a time, because with these numbers, a shroom can have up to 2 spores at a time. And by making 73 a prime number, they will forever be out of sync. Like, this shroom will never spawn a new spore and move a mushroom at the same time. It will forever be out of sync, which is quite smart.
Yes, in fact, I think you created this document, didn't you? Which I can bring up quickly for people to see.
You can put it up.
Yeah, so that's...
It's not accurate anymore because I halved the speed at which this module runs. But
how do I zoom? This seems really thin, small. But Control Scroll and Alt Scroll don't work.
Okay, it should be Control. Yeah,
That'll
Control
do.
Scroll works.
Really? Not for me. Yeah, so...
Yeah, just Control Scroll does it for me. It's not accurate anymore because I halved the speed at which the module runs, but
yeah.
it's still about what it does.
I just want to... I'm in view only mode, okay. Yeah, so it spawns them, then it moves them. So you can see that they kind of never overlap, like two things never happen at once, which is really cool. Yeah. That's that.
Alright, let's get started on more stuff then.
Hey, Peaches.
Spratzy, you want to explain what's our plan for tonight first, because we haven't gone over that yet.
Okay, so we have the ability to make these mushrooms spread and generate new mushrooms now. So the things we're going to be doing is we're going to cause cows that are near one of these shroomites to become infected and pass on the infection to other cows that are near them. Which isn't a huge deal. I mean, people can shear cows quite easily to get that fixed, but I think it'll be a nice feature. And then the only other thing we need to do is to make it possible for shrooms to very occasionally, very rarely, randomly spawn in the world, which is what will kickstart this whole plague system we have over here that causes this mycelium spreading. Yeah. Let's do the cow thing first. It's probably easier.
Yeah, let's do the cow thing first.
You're using the stage entrance. I'm just flying over the ceiling all the time. Yeah, okay. Hey, Supper Jerry, welcome. And Misode. And Snave Sutit. Okay, so... Do we want it to be immediate, like as soon as a cow steps on one of these? Or do we want to give cows a score so they have to be on it for a certain amount of time? Or is that too much work? Or like too much thought?
The idea I had earlier was making it so if a cow is inside a spore, it kills the spore and turns it into a mushroom, but that might be...
Oh, I see. Make the spore instead of the shroom itself. Do it. Mm-hmm. That could work. So do we need to make that a constant check, like the thing that lets us detect when they have like a lava bucket poured on them, or do we make it a slower thing where the spore has to move when there's a mushroom there, or if it moves and the space that it moves to occupies a mushroom?
Yeah, that's a good question, and I'm not sure. The later thing would be more lag friendly, I guess, and
If we
What
made it
does
part
Stream
of
think?
Spore spread, then that would only be running every, what was it, 50 seconds, did you say?
Spore spread runs every 16 seconds.
Okay.
What does Stream think?
Yeah,
On the one
what's your
hand,
thoughts? How
running
should
it
it
every
spread?
16 seconds is more lag friendly, but it might not make as much sense to the player, because then you can move cow into a spore, nothing will happen until the spore moves.
It's true.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's interesting. It like one nice thing about Bedrock Edition is that you can have like events built directly into entities. So you could make it so that something happens when an entity encounters another entity without needing an actual clock to do it.
Oh yeah, I guess so. What's really hard with this module is quite dangerous lag-wise, because we have to make sure it doesn't grow exponentially.
Yeah. I can see this potentially being a problem if it's happening on the surface and somebody's doing like an etho lab underground base and just never goes up. And then one day they're like, why is it so laggy? They go up to look and it's just a field of mushrooms.
One thing I considered to maybe reduce the lag was we could give these spore mushrooms a limited lifetime of about 24 hours. That sounds crazy, but the spreading is really slow, so they probably need 24 hours of lifetime.
By that time, they're in a sea of mycelium anyway.
Yeah, however, that makes it quite weird, because usually when you have an infestation of some sort, the center of it is usually where it's worst.
Yeah.
But by giving them like a lifetime, it makes the center basically harmless.
And if it died, then it would be left. Like you'd almost expect the grass to fix itself because it's gone.
Yeah, well, it will just leave the mycelium and the mushrooms, but they won't do anything anymore, so... Yeah, I really want to avoid killing them. Well, giving them a limited lifetime, that is.
Yeah. How many spores do we have in the world right now?
There should be about...
Let me. I'll give you a thing.
What was the tag
about
called?
100, I think.
Don't say it because you're just gonna crash your game, probably, because there's too many. There's more than whatever the max chat message is, because it'll say area effect load, which is the longest thing.
Another way how we could stop this from randomly happening sparks is by making only mushrooms spawn these mushrooms.
But then you'd have to go find a mushroom biome in the first place.
That is
There is
true.
104
104.
spores.
I think 104 radius 1 checks.
I did a stress test on these spores without the mushroom system in place, and the server handled 512 of them just fine. It just let your client out a bit, because they were all in one space summoning particles,
Okay.
but the server wasn't struggling.
So we've got the main clock runs just under once a second, or just over once a second.
0.8
Yeah.
is the main clock seconds.
What's the next fastest thing? The spore spreading, right?
Yeah, the spore spreading, which is every 16 seconds. We can just set up their own clock for this, but I think incorporating it into spore spread and only checking when the spore moves is fine.
Yeah, let's do that. So if it moves onto a block that has a mushroom, that has a cow on it, it'll do it.
Yep, we should probably include that down here.
You know what would be hilarious? If we used it probably wouldn't look right, but imagine if a spore tried to infest a cow, a mushroom instead of a cow, we could summon like several, what are they called? Falling blocks that look like mushrooms and just have them like bounce out off the cow and just plant themselves. Kind of funny.
We could add the cow thing here.
Where? Oh, over here. With a different clock. Oh, I see. No, spore spread. Yeah, gotcha. So first we choose the direction, then we move it if it can move. Then we place the mycelium. Place mycelium and mushroom. Oh, only if... yeah, okay.
It's quite different by now. So up here, line 11.
But I'm reading this. Is that now an incorrect comment?
Yeah. Nope, it isn't. Line 11 handles place a new shroom.
Yeah.
But only the shroom, and line 12 then places the mycelium. Line 12 will be executed if line 11 will be executed, so we basically save on one repeating command. Can you calculate the is the game that like correct with its timings that you can get the exact age of the it is
spore? That's handy.
Down here,
counts down just every tick.
Yeah. For some reason, I would expect Minecraft to just screw it up.
And yeah, line 14 to 17, you know those lines. We had those in place last week.
Yep.
Line 20 is just a step counter that's just used internally for counting steps.
Mm-hmm. Affect cows with shrooms. Okay. So this'll run after it's moved.
Yeah, so you got to do execute at s.
Yeah, okay. At s. Can you then just go straight at e type equals cow r equals what is it now? Distance.
You should do
distance.
You should probably do an s. Well, why would you even need this? Sparks.
I don't know. What do you mean?
You should do at s.
It's already at s.
It's not special.
Oh, did you tell us? Is it teleport?
It moved. Yeah, it does teleport, so you need to do at s. And then we dot here and run function. Give it some name. What we do now, Sparks, is we execute at the position of the spore. We need to include the at s. Yep.
Yeah.
As a cow that's nearby, and then run the function. We need to include that at s because the position at which a function executes is calculated on the start of the function, and we teleport the entity we're referring to throughout the function. So we need to update the position, and that's the at s there.
Yeah. And then we're on a limit of 1, right? Because 1 spore, 1 cow.
Yep. Probably sort equals...
I mean, it's likely to be a group of spores, but you get the idea.
That's true.
Sort nearest...
cow infect. Shall I make that?
Yep, we will...
Sure.
We'll probably want a distance 0.0 to 0.5 because it's a radius.
Okay, here's our new file. You in it?
Yep, we're in it.
There it goes. My atom was, I guess.
Okay,
Spider says, keep in mind the server might be able to handle 512 of them. But I doubt the module will ever be the only thing on the server that's trying to process.
That's true.
That's true.
But we are putting on a slower check anyway, now, I guess.
Yeah, we're just doing our best to reduce lag, I guess.
So, with the new MBT stuff, we could, if we wanted to, copy the rotation of the cow that we're replacing with a mushroom and its health if we wanted to, but I don't know if it's worth it.
Honestly, I've never really noticed health of animals.
No,
Yeah.
And I mean, there's no harm in giving it full health if it was short.
Yeah. Plus, you don't have to do with the NBT stuff now. You can just teleport the new entity to the old one.
Yes.
Before you kill him.
That's how you used to do it. I'm just saying if we wanted to match the rotation and the health and stuff with MBT, we could now. Because you can't change one entity into another.
Gotcha.
We can't copy
the rotation just
names.
would be
Like,
teleport.
Matching the rotation is worth it, I think, but the health, no.
Because the rotation is applied from the teleport.
That's true.
I suppose that's what you're saying, yeah. Instead of summoning it directly at the cow, or we could summon it at the cow, but then teleport it to the cow to match the rotation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Our potion swords version does that, right, Special? Looks like it.
I did add that, yes. Hit it. Yep, it does.
Yep.
Or at least it tries to. It might be a bit slow because of the weird teleporting
Yeah,
bits.
sometimes Skeleton tries to turn, but... Oh, I poisoned our cows.
And now I'm going to get sucky at teleports. Teleport at E.
You're basically currently watching Sparks suffer with 1.13. Because he has to switch between Bedrock Edition, 1.12, and 1.13 all the time.
Oh,
Sparks doesn't like
scoreboards
that.
are being added to Bedrock Edition now, and the scoreboards have different syntax to 1.12 and 1.13, with some taken from each and a few new things added that aren't in either. So yeah, my headache is going to get bigger.
Yes, I saw some of the stuff and I'm like, why?
Yeah, I know, right?
They're redoing the sidebar for no, like, good reason.
You know-
mine 100 bros, this is Adam. We are using teletype feature to collaborate like a Google Doc, but better.
And worse.
Yeah.
And worse, but also better.
We need to look into some alternatives, because I've heard of people talk about other ones. We're going to teleport it to an S. That should do it, right? Will that include rotation?
Why don't you just make Bedrock use
It should.
1.13 command syntax, ask brothers?
Because Bedrock's bad and they don't want to copy us.
It's because Bedrock has the marketplace, and Microsoft is concerned that all of their revenue will be gone if every game on their store breaks. So they are like really concerned. They're as concerned with backwards compatibility as Mojang is not. Basically.
They should like just split the difference and we'd be fine.
Yeah.
I gotta say, learning the new 1.13 commands is horrible, but once you learn them, like, I know them alright-ish by now, it's amazing.
They're
I love
definitely
them.
worth the effort to learn, yeah. You want to hear a story about what I did today in Bedrock. I find Bedrock stories are usually fun to tell because it's like the weirdest, quirkiest things ever, right? You want to know what I did today?
Tell us.
What?
So I can't talk about the project yet, but it involves a situation where we have an animal and we wanted it to be able to like snore when it sleeps and like have little hearts over it when it's happy, kind of thing, right? So we were like, okay, well, how do we do this? There's no particle command. So what do we do? And I was aware that there was no particle command, and I found one way of placing particles where you want them to, and that is by getting a snowball and editing the behavior file to change the particle that it plays when it lands, like the snowball poof particle.
Oh no!
So we decided that what we would do is that we would summon a snowball at the mob and have it play the heart particle. But of course, that means that we wouldn't have any other way of summoning a different particle for the retextured particle that looks like Z's for snoring, right? So we have this way of doing this one particle, and to make things worse, we needed the snowball for another part of the game as a normal snowball. So here's...
It's just a sleeping snowball, get used to it.
Yeah, so what I ended up doing, okay, is you can... There is an on-spawn event, or like an when entity born kind of property for behavior packs. And one of the things that you can, thank God, check for when you are when an entity spawns is the light level and also the biome. So what I did was I went to MC Edit and I made single block biomes of different types. And what I do is I spawn a snowball in that one block column of a certain biome and have its behavior code check what the biome it's in is when it spawns, assign it a different breaking particle depending on which biome it's in, teleport it to the entity we wanted the particle played at, and then did it that way, which means that because the rest of the map, thank God, happened to just be in one biome, plains, we could say that if it was in plains, we just give it the normal snowball poof. And that's what I did today. I managed to get particles.
And this is why data packs have some issues, because you can't just... You have to change something. You can't add to it.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can't use the snowball and keep the snowball at the same time easily.
Nope. So yeah, that was a fun challenge. That's one of those rare times when my crazy workarounds work. Like a lot of the time with Bedrock, I spend like 2 days trying everything I can possibly think of, and just everything like foils me. Yeah. Anyway, so cows, right? Am I right?
Yep.
If we teleport the mushroom to at S, that should rotate it, right?
I'm sure it does.
Then we probably want to play a particle, like a cloud of smoke or something for the conversion.
Can we do mycelium particles always move slowly, unfortunately? Special that won't stop it.
No, this is for the cows.
Oh, I see.
Is it still called? It's not called town aura anymore, is it? It's mycelium.
It's mycelium now.
Yeah.
I still don't get why it was called town aura in the first place. I would love why not call it town aura.
Oh my god, that's a lot of particles in quite a wide cloud. Let's try.
Can you try to speed them up?
I will in just a second. What? Oh, I'm silly. Let's make that 0.3. Oh. I'm still... Oh my god. Execute as... How's that look? They're very nondescript particles.
They're really slow.
Right, I'll increase the speed to 0.5. Nope, nothing's happened. So they probably can't be sped up, really. Nope.
Nope, probably not. Then we'll have to go with something else. Let me look through the particle list. We could go for a mushroom block break particle.
Yeah. What about the cow break particle?
What? Just do the steak eating particle and make it spill flesh everywhere.
Yeah. We'll play the sound, and then I guess we kill at S to remove the cow. That should be it.
We don't kill it, we entity data it to die. Because killing it will make us cloud and stuff. Alright, so how do we do the block break particle? Particle block. Oh, you just do... That's cool.
Does anyone remember how to kill mobs with MBT? I thought it was called death time, but it doesn't seem to work.
Yeah, we do.
I did it. It's in the thing.
Oh, yeah. What? I was so close. Oh, I have to set the health
You're
as
at
well.
20.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kratos teleporting
Keeping them 9,000 blocks down is nice, but it still takes them a little bit of time to die. So
I'm going to
And
put
we
that
want
at
it
the
to begin
bottom
instantly.
because that's the last thing I want to do.
What's a mushroom block called? Red
mushroom block.
Underscore block.
What does this play sound like? Oh, I like it. Very quiet, sort of rustly sound.
Uh, 0.5. 5. Oh, I like that sound. Is that a grow sound you wanted to do? Special.
Yep.
Did you implement it?
Yeah.
Oh,
If we
cool.
reload.
Do you want to increase the volume a little bit?
I don't think it can. Because the volume doesn't work like volume should.
Yeah, the volume on play sounds, it isn't the volume. Instead, it defines how large of a percentage of your 16 block hearable area you want your sound to play in. So if you set it to 0.5, it only plays in the the volume decreases from the source to 8 blocks away. And if
Okay.
you set it to 1, it decreases from the source to 16 blocks away. You can't change the volume at all. And the weird thing is, then you have like the min volume, and that's not the minimal volume. It's the volume outside the sphere. So if you set your, let's say you set your volume to 0.5, then you have a sound with full loudness at block 0, and it decreases to 8 blocks away. And once you are farther than 8 blocks away, you hear it with the minimum volume.
Means it asks
So
if
the minimum volume can be louder than the actual minimum volume, which is horrible.
Means it asks if they still drop XP now. Well, they'd only drop XP if they'd been hurt by a player, right?
They don't. Yeah, they'd only drop XP if they were just hit by something, but that happens no matter what you do with the kill. Like no matter how you kill them, unless you teleport into the void. But then they're still around for a couple seconds. Commands pick them up, and it's just bleh.
Looks like you're putting it in a meat grinder. I still remember when the particle command first came out. Do you remember we were making those like violent meat grinders
Oh yeah.
with the block break particle and nether rack? Nether
How do
rack?
you like this one?
Yeah.
It's subtle, but I like it, I think.
Let's put it in and try.
Maybe more of them.
I'm spawning 100 mycelium particles.
Just overdo it. Just don't overdo it with particles. We noticed that the client is pretty sensitive.
Oops. Sorry, Cam.
Yeah, this looks good.
Play it again, Sam.
Yep, looking great. Let's add that.
Should we save and reload?
Yep, save and reload, please.
Right. Here, cow.
Now you need the spore to hit it somehow. I can turn on like a death particle for the spores, but it's really laggy.
Just leave it off for now.
I will add a distance tag to only affect those within 10 block range.
Oh, fucking hell.
Now it kind of floats their sparks. I think you did something wrong.
It's not what I wanted to do.
I bet the cow likes it. Maybe it's better to move over into the big testing area because there are more spores there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, let's try
On the
that.
other hand, we can't see where they are. Well, we can't easily see that.
There's not any modules we have that like let you freeze entities, are there? Because converting it from a cow into a mushroom will lose that save data.
Oh, so that should be fine.
Should be fine.
And then that's the shock to the system would do that. I don't
Might
know.
make it. I bet you it's gonna go to the restaurant now.
Oh, well, that's not
It
good.
moved to the cow, but it didn't work.
Why didn't it work?
Maybe the radius is small.
Put a little say command in the cow infect message. But yeah, we could try the distance to 1 instead of 0.5.
0.5 makes more sense to me, but setting it to 1 now.
Do we kill the spore under cow infest?
I think we should.
Yeah, we currently don't.
It's running as the cow though. Oh, but that's
Why is Crothers summoning dolphins?
Oh, because we made a pool
Oh.
in the room.
the
to
synchronized
right.
swimming team can come back.
So cool.
That will kill the or
I wanted to put in a turtle, but we weren't able to come up with low one for a couple of years.
Oh, I love the sound effect when you walk into one of these columns. Sorry, getting distracted.
If Stream
Hollow?
has a suggestion for the name of the turtle, we need something for something that's really slow and comes back every couple of years. Please suggest names.
Something slow that only comes every couple of years.
Yeah.
like the measles.
Yeah,
Drunk
like me.
Santa.
No, he can go away forever. What is this sound effect you were referring to? I want to know.
When you swim into a column of bubbles underwater.
Oh, gotcha.
It's a bit loud in my opinion, but I like it.
Oh, this doesn't. Okay.
Problem with testing whether the cow thing works is that these spores are really, really slow.
Yep. We should just execute on all spores to summon one cow in every one of the 4 coordinates.
We can just summon a
Brothers.
cow after it moved.
Crothers, we had the glass there so the fish wouldn't die in there. Okay.
Yeah, we'll just let it summon a cow for now.
Are you putting that in?
Yep.
Did you change this to yeah, distance of 1 instead of 0.5?
Is it summoning a cow?
Gonna summon a cow now once they move. This will create a ton of cows, by the way.
That's gonna be a lot of.
We need to make sure to. We need to make sure to get rid of them and stop this before it gets out of hand.
Why are we summoning so many cows?
Because we want to see. We want to see whether a cow thing works.
Are you reloading?
Yes. I'm not sure whether I should, because that's a ton of cows we're gonna summon.
I have the disable command on my bar.
Alright, you've got your disable command, and I will reload it. In 3, 2, 1, reloading. I'm expecting cows to appear everywhere.
The cow apocalypse.
Not seeing anything, to be honest.
Maybe there's a compiler error? Let me take a look.
Didn't see one. Oh, yes, I saw one. Never mind.
There's one, yeah. Line 23, position 14 in Spore spread. Spore spread 24. Oh, there's a run missing.
Oh. That old thing?
Yep,
Reloading.
again.
Reloading.
So
Go!
much.
Disable it, special. I'll kill them. But the thing doesn't work.
You killed him too quickly.
Nope, nothing happens.
Well, because the only thing I'm doing, the disable is just moving them. Okay, but it's not running cow stuff.
What did we do wrong?
That's fine, Crothers.
Just leave the items.
Free meat.
Let me do death, loot, table, column.
This only happens when the spores spread.
Only when they move, yeah.
Yeah. Execute at themselves.
Can we do
As-
like...
A cow within 1 block. Run the function.
This is gonna be a ton of same messages, but all for debugging. Whoever had the kill command, can you kill them?
Mm-hmm.
And special, I will reload, enable the data pack again.
Alright. Did you remove
Token.
it from the thing?
Instruments. Re-enabling the data pack. So it found the cow within a radius of 1.
The cow spawn thing is not a valid function. Incorrect argument for command at position 11.
Data
Entity.
merge.
There we go. Try now. We got rid of the cow summoner, right?
Let's just leave it in for now, just to test it. I will get rid of the save though.
We just summon.
Saved.
I've got all the meats.
Oh yeah.
Alright, reloading the functions now. Do I need to reload them if I enable them again? Special?
Re-enabling is the same as disabling and re-enabling is the same as loading for the first time. Well, kind of. The same
I'm
as loading.
enabling them.
Oh, that looks good.
Whoa. Our
But
cows
sound
are
plays at
happy.
everyone.
I don't think I added the right sound thing.
They're playing the particles.
I hear the sound from really far away. We should change the range. I'm disabling it again for us to get rid of the sound thing.
Mushrooms have this really weird texture line on their backs. You guys seeing this? If you line yourself up just right with one of their mushrooms, you get this black line over them.
Oh yeah.
Nope.
Oh yeah, these mushrooms don't have the easy kill function anymore. The tag.
Easy kill.
I gave them the tag so they were easy to kill.
Alright, the play sound.
Got it. 30 block radius.
30 block radius, isn't that a bit too large?
Alright.
I would go for something like 8 blocks.
Sorry, you're right. For spreading, for getting to a cow. I was thinking of deploy.
You can also set the volume to something like 0.75. The help command really isn't useful anymore. It only shows you the first parameter.
Yeah, I've just been auto-completing stuff. What's the one you're looking for?
Volume. Set it to 0.75 about it. Or let me just calculate the accurate value.
The
10
volume?
16th. 0.625.
Oh, I just put a radius on the selector.
Yeah, but we wanted to go silent, you know. I don't know, it's fancier.
Alright.
This mushroom visual bug is kind of really irritating me. More than I thought it would.
Where are you?
Do you see it too?
Oh, when you look right down the plane?
Yeah.
Oh.
I want to see it as well.
It makes it look like there's little spikes coming out of them, like randomly.
So the plane, so the mushroom, this is got the X plane, right? Or like that cross form. It's the width of it, which is supposed to be 0. Apparently, it has enough width that the game renders a full rectangle.
Yeah, I see it.
Are all these mushrooms that got magic
Stop looking at me,
infections?
mushroom. Alright, so I guess we got that working.
Yep, just get rid of the
probably-
woo.
I got rid of the woo. We
And
can
the-
probably stick to the radius one, because it's looking for the nearest anyways. Do we want to kill the spore, or should we just leave the spore alive?
Don't know, what do you think?
I guess there are many spores, so we could just leave it alive, to be honest.
Yeah. I guess
Make
it's
it easier
an
on
extra
us and,
command
like,
for not
friendly.
much difference
Yeah.
in behavior. It's not like you're going to use cows to soak up spores as a fixing solution.
We get compost for that.
We have a mushroom problem. Our solution: cows.
Yes.
Alright, so we got that working.
Potato. There's a button over here if you want cow eggs.
Now that that's working, Sparks, should we do mushroom to cow infestation? Infection? Because if mushrooms spawn these mushrooms anyways, then this kind of does it.
That's true, if we make the mushrooms do it.
I feel like they should.
Okay. If you keep mushrooms penned up like this, you won't, like, the
PETA
mushrooms...
will be called.
The mushrooms... well, they'll take up this space, this grass, but they will eventually reach a limit where there's no more room for shrooms.
Yeah, and they won't fill up all the blocks either, because they can only spread to things that are still grass block.
Yeah.
So for a space this small, you might be lucky to get 2.
Yeah.
Now we just need to figure out how to place the sporing shrooms from mushrooms. Me and Special were talking about this yesterday. Special, you wanted to do something where it doesn't depend on some numbers?
Something like that.
On what numbers?
I don't remember, I thought Special did, but...
No, I don't remember. Yesterday was a night.
Alright, so we want these mushrooms to spawn the sporing shrooms. If you have a ton of mushrooms, the chance of them spawning the mushroom should be higher, I feel like.
Yeah, definitely.
But we want to run this placing as rarely as possible. Like, if one of these mushrooms places a mushroom, we don't need to check the others anymore.
Like only 1 per thing. Also, your thing on we want it to be more mushrooms. There's a higher chance of you getting them, but if it's by statistics, that's how that works, right?
Yeah, we don't need to worry about that. If we
Okay.
just run on every mushroom.
I'm confused. Wouldn't you be able to, like, if you had a box full of mushrooms on a non-valid spawning space for the shrooms, then you could have 1 on the grass and it would almost never spawn a shroom.
I guess so. Yeah.
So does that seem
Oh,
odd
that's
to
what
you?
I was talking about, Blue. That's right, Blue. That's what we were talking about.
I feel like everyone should have a chance of spawning, like, the same chance, because regardless of how many others there are.
I think that's what I was saying yesterday, Blue, where if it shouldn't depend on how many there are that your chances, like it shouldn't be like 1 every certain time period.
Every shroom just...
You have a disproportionate chance depending on how many other mushrooms there are.
Which is the opposite problem we're going to have with causing the shrooms to just spawn randomly, naturally, without a mushroom, because the more players there are, would potentially increase the chance of having a shroom, sorry.
Throw it in Orbis.
Sorry?
Throw it in Orbis.
Yeah, so how are we gonna do this?
I think that every mushroom should have a counter, I guess. And
Giving every mushroom a counter is pretty laggy, though.
yeah,
Don't want to do that, to be honest. We could just execute on 1 random shroom every now and then, but then the more mushrooms there are in the world, the less likely you're gonna get affected.
yeah.
Oh, I need a scale factor.
Is that debug register still the number of shrooms?
No.
Thank God.
No, this is me trying to random number.
Oh yes, Brox, if you ever want to debug something, there's a skill called debug. It's a debug register. It's really useful.
Sorry, is this something Minecraft's added or something you've added?
It's something we've added.
Okay.
Did it sound so perfect?
Oh, there we go. Oh, okay. So you can get a interesting. So here's an easy way to get a random number. I'm storing half of a UUID from a random entity into a scoreboard.
I'm also allowing shrooms to spread to stone, by the way.
Potato, that's a thing.
In Bedrock,
That
it is, yeah.
Bedrock will have,
Yeah.
but everything else is going to be really weird to work with. Is one of these a shroom? It is.
I'm surprised they didn't add that to 1.13. You can do ranged randomization using modulus, can't you? And a prime number.
Kind of. But I think we can go to an easier randomizer. We don't need fancy math randomizer.
Yeah. Because the other randomizer features that I usually go to are item rotation, but we don't have an item right now.
Mushroom rotation?
Because they stay constant over time, though.
But special.
Like
they
look
mushroom rotation.
They look in a certain direction for a certain period of time, though. So it stays the same for a while.
We could just change the rotation once we execute on them.
Do they stop looking around if there's no players near them?
If you are 32 blocks away, they stop rotating. Oh, that's an issue.
It would mean that like they wouldn't spawn another shroom, but then if they were picked again, nothing else would either.
Yeah, because the thing with rotation is when I used it, I mean this is before we had fancy NBT math stuff, but it was like for when you throw down an item, it has a random rotation. So I would give like if it was between 345 and 355, then do this. If it was between 120 and 126, then do this.
Yeah.
And that was the random. Because you can't manipulate that unless you throw down an item a million times, know which way it has to look, guess, and then do something with it, but you can't really then do something with it, so it's just there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sparks, Ominous says, are you planning to make another game like Foxy Boxes?
No, I'm planning to finish Foxy Boxes at some point.
In which case, I'm asking you, Sparks, are you planning to make another game that never gets finished?
No, but in the meantime, I've released like 3 or 4 games.
Yes, and we thank you for that. Don't
yeah,
take
but
me
for a
seriously,
platform
please.
that no one cares about.
Gamemode 4 is the game that's never finished. It is never finished.
Until Minecraft adds Gamemode 4. Well, now they can't anymore.
You know, before 1.13 completely changed the command structure between Java and Bedrock, I was totally going to release my Bedrock maps, like port them to Java, because it would have been pretty easy. Like a couple of small things would have needed changing, and that would be it. But now, it would involve basically making the whole game again, which is such a shame. Because I was going to... I guess I could release games for 1.12. People do that with games, right? Don't know if it would be worth the effort.
There's a random number. Make it positive.
But what's the range on it? The possible range?
Anything you want, depending on what scale factor you give it, because the UUID is a long.
Oh, right. You're using scale
and
factor.
I'm scaling it down to what's the number? Tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000, 100,000, million, 10 million, 100 million.
Could this be manipulated by players doing that thing that changes enchantments?
What's this 1/1000th of the UUID? You can't influence a UUID, as far as I know.
No, No. I'm saying that if
Don't worry about the Minecraft randomizer exploit stuff. We don't have to worry about that. 'Cause
okay.
really, whoever does this, it's just so tedious to set up.
Yeah, I was gonna say if you just make sure that there are no entities except you and the mushroom, you might be able to trick it by limiting the UIDs it can read. But yes, you're right. That's ridiculous.
But how is this gonna help us special?
Special?
Hello? Special?
Is he still on the call?
Say that again.
How is
Sorry,
this how do you want to use this randomizer?
As a cow gonna do a thing? I think, though I'm not sure.
So you're gonna do this per cow?
I don't know. Either per cow or per thing. Like, so if this number is within some range that we specify, then execute on a random cow to do the thing. Because then, if you use the sort equals random, every cow has the same equal chance that you have.
Mooly, do the thing.
Or every loaded one, every loaded cow at least.
I really want to avoid having to execute on every cow to determine the random score.
Although that would make sure it doesn't depend on how many there are loaded, whereas at R would always depend on how many there are loaded. Ugh.
How if we use some intrinsic value of the cow?
Do we still have to execute on every cow?
Yeah, I just think we should execute on every cow within a range of a mushroom. Or no, because this is every cow. And every cow.
It's every mushroom.
Yep. So okay, there's less mushrooms always than cows, typically.
Can we somehow make sure that we don't double execute in them? Because if one mushroom inside a pen has just placed a mushroom, we don't need to run the others for the next couple of minutes.
Yeah, probably. Like only one. No. They can only place one if there's not already one around, right? Is the idea?
Yeah.
Let's try it then. Special, lead the way.
I think we should do it on every cow. We can make it a very slow check and have like a. But I think we should do it on every cow because otherwise, mushroom, right? Yeah, because otherwise, if you have one mushroom in your world, you're gonna be able to control exactly where these things spawn, and it'll spawn much more frequently than if there's like if you're at a mushroom island.
Yeah, every mushroom should have its own chance of spawning them.
Yeah, that way it doesn't depend on how many there are loaded. So if there's one mushroom loaded, it's not guaranteed to get one.
Yeah, but if you have 20 in a fence on a really tiny space,
then you have 20 times the chance of getting one every unit of time.
As long as if two mushrooms in the same tick check to see that there's no shrooms nearby and then both place a shroom at the same time.
Yeah, that's gonna be bad.
Then you end up with two next to each other.
Well,
I guess you could check that there's no other mushrooms nearby.
As long as we're running because nothing will run parallel. So.
You sure?
Yeah. No, yeah. Nothing can run parallel in Minecraft.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
So it will process each mushroom individually, and then it'll summon the shroom, and then move on to the next mushroom when the function ends.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So difference with command blocks and functions. Command blocks, because we always had to do everything one piece at a time. It was on every cow, do this thing, and then after every cow did the thing, it was on everything. It was you had to go through everything. Like I'm wording this wrong. Okay, so with command blocks, because it was by block, each block had to go through like every cow and do a thing, and then the next block would go through every cow and do a different thing.
Yeah.
With functions, you can tell every cow to do this list of things, and the first cow will do the whole list of things, the second cow will do the whole list of things, the third cow will do the whole list of things, etc. Until it gets to the end of whatever you tell it to do and moves on to the next one.
I'm aware that executing on all mushrooms could be a problem, but I mean, this is a check we'll be doing maybe like once an hour? If that, right?
Yeah, I guess I guess that's a good time span. It should be really slow.
Yeah. So we just have a 360-second counter.
Alright, so how does this sound?
3,600-second counter, sorry.
We just the thing special set, like we execute on every cow, but like special explained, they execute one after another within one tick. And as soon as one cow succeeds in placing one of those rooms, it disables all the cows around it and gives them some tag we read, which excludes those cows from our run the random on them.
How does that help? Because they've already all been queued to play this function, right?
No, if you include the tag, like if we say...
it doesn't run the check again.
If we say determine... So we get this like theoretical function that runs, selects a cow, selects all the cows, but it just selects one cow for now, and runs check whether I should place a shroom. Randomly.
Okay, I see what you mean. Yeah, we can do
then
that.
If
gotcha.
one cow is selected, well, it selects all of them, but it selects one at first. It selects that one decides, hey, I should place a shroom, and then it pings all the cows around it, and sets a tag to them like no check anymore. And in our original call, where we call all the cows, we include only cows that don't have the no check tag.
And that'll work.
Yep.
Yeah, here I'll try to make a visual, right? So if this is the start, right? This is the start of the function. This is the execute on every cow.
Yeah.
So execute as every cow. And this is where the command branches, and every cow will run everything after this. One cow, then the next cow, then the next cow. So after this, we then go make sure that you don't have this don't run tag, and then we have it do this function that does the mushroom and tagging other things. So then if the first cow successfully runs this, it then tells the other cow, which hasn't run this yet, that it can't do it. So when the second cow runs this, it stops. That should work.
Are you saying in a radius, or just only one maximum cow can do this every randomization?
I think in a radius.
Cycle?
In a radius.
Okay.
So like only one cow in a it essentially would behaviorally end up as only one cow in a region.
But
can run
why?
This
Didn't we say that it couldn't spawn two shrooms nearby anyway?
Yeah, that's what it does. Well, the shroom spreading wouldn't handle that. I can go ahead and like place a couple of mycelium blocks here. There's shrooms on top. Spawn a ton of shrooms. They don't kill each other.
No, but I thought that when we get the cow to place the shroom, after it's randomly picked to try and spawn a shroom, it would then check if there's a shroom nearby.
Yeah, that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
So so if
why disable cows nearby? Because submissions nearby, because then you're just...
Because we don't need to run them and check whether they want to... We don't even need to determine whether they can spawn a shroom anymore.
Makes sense. If you think that's more efficient than all of the radius checks. But I guess it's it's a rare radius check, because only some mooshrooms will be eligible.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's do that then.
Alright. Shroom time is pretty full.
Okay, I'm going to use that one for a fake player for our timer thing. Yes.
Alright, that goes in...
Slight thing going on in comment, yes. We try to optimize everything we can. If we get sloppy somewhere, we get sloppy, and it never ends up getting optimized later, because if you don't optimize well your writing, the structure, it's really hard to do without entirely redoing it.
Yeah.
And plus, even if it doesn't make a great big of a deal for something like this, which in my opinion it still
does.
Everything makes a difference. You should make it as good as you possibly can. And I mean, even if it is like a tiny difference for something like this, especially for the small modules, when we're learning how to do this, when we get to the big modules and we already know most of the tricks and mindsets on how to do it efficiently, it'll be just that much easier and faster for us to know what we're doing already with optimization
With Gamemode 4,
techniques.
it's really important to optimize everything because we want our
Yeah.
modules to run great
You can-
on
you can-
every machine. Like, the problem is,
Every
you can't
machine
say-
and with all of them going at once, as much as
yeah,
possible.
you can
Yes.
say your
There's a
stuff
lot
runs
of
fine on
time
your server or on
max
this
out.
server, but people might have a potato computer, and we want them to be able to
Yeah.
use this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Just a heads up, guys. I'm gonna have to head out in a little bit. So
Okay, I have like half an hour left.
I have a
Alright,
little
let's
less.
get on with this.
Yeah, let's do this. We've figured out how we're doing it. We just got to do it.
Yep, yep.
Can we put it above the advancement?
You guys are in main.
Thank you. Yep.
Yep. For the timer, I'm doing the timer. Do you want to make the function that they execute?
Sure. So this mushroom plant or something.
Probably more like special. We should change it back to shedding shrooms, because we already have a method that's called shroom spawn.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Or like something like that. Yeah.
Shroom shed.
Yeah, shroom
Yeah.
shed sounds good.
Okay, that file is now open.
You're creating another scoreboard special?
No, I'm adding to a fake player. That's the name of the fake player.
Oh, get rid of the GM4 then.
Really?
It's in the
Okay.
scoreboard anyways.
Okay, yeah, okay. I've just been prefixing all my fake players everywhere. Just so it's obvious what they are.
Alright, add the prefix then. Couldn't hurt. We're not in Java.
Oh, did I put a semicolon? Crap.
Yeah, you did.
Oops.
I'm so tempted to do it every time.
Yeah.
Sparks, are you already writing the shroom shedding?
No, I should do that.
I just
Was it once
opened
an
it,
what,
so-
was it once an hour? You said?
Yeah.
Yep,
That's
once now. Let me calculate
Okay.
how much. There is.
3,600 seconds?
That's 3,600. Well, it'd be a little over an hour for this because it's 16 ticks 20. So that's 4 under, 8 under a second.
2,880.
Where's that mushroom summon command you have? Sorry, the shroom summon command you have.
2880?
2880. The shroom summon command. It's in. I think special it one. It must be under cow_infect.
No.
I'm gonna
The
do
one
it.
you use to place shrooms, to place spores.
Oh, it's under
No, the command block you
shroom_spawn.
have.
Oh. This is so confusing. Where are you at?
I guess I can use that summon command there. Actually, you're right, into shroom_spawn.
Grab this one. There it is.
So, once an hour, every mushroom will do a thing to see if there scores a thing. Forget what random method we're using.
I'm figuring out how high mushrooms are.
What's this scoreboard called? Shroom time? Which one are we using?
What's this for? Or you're putting that right in here.
10.0, so we want to go to...
What are we using for the random? I don't remember. Oh, actually no, I can think
The
of a random.
UUID thing, right?
Yeah, gotcha.
Feel-
So this is on mushrooms, yep, as shit.
Minus 0.2, how high are we summoning these?
In relation to the mushroom, that's a good question.
Yeah, I'm figuring that out
Okay.
at the moment. Minus 1.45
Okay.
blocks down.
So you need to put your
Yeah, gotcha.
UUID commands in here. Yeah. I can just do if here, right?
No, you have to do. You have to put the execute.
Oh.
Even though it's run from a thing, it doesn't append the execute on its own, unfortunately.
Do I need to... Yeah, okay. Gotcha.
Did we disable the data pack?
Did we disable the data pack?
Yeah.
I don't think so. Maybe. I didn't.
I think we did.
Okay, 1/10 billionth. And
If I summon an entity, it will summon in the center of the block, right?
We can use execute align, right?
Yeah.
I'm just trying. Yeah, we can, but I still need to figure out like which height we summon these mushrooms at, just for consistencies. So minus 1.45 down. If we're in the center of the block, but we're half a block lower. So I need to subtract 0.5 blocks from this, which is minus 0.95. There we go, that should be the correct height, I hope. What I was trying to figure out, Snape, was where the mushroom executes its command from. Because it's like a pretty big entity, and I want to make it so that these shrooming spore mushrooms are on the same height, so the hitbox is in the same position no matter what they spawn from. But we still probably need on a line to make sure that they spawn on a block, on it, like to the side of a block. So yeah, we should add on a line.
Okay. Special. What?
Yep.
What scale have you given this? What's my number range?
I'm checking that now. I put the scale factor was -1 trillionth or something like that to get it down under 100, and it seems to range roughly between 90 and 40 most of the time.
That's interesting.
I mean, those are the two most significant digits of the UUID.
Okay.
So, if there was a way to get the least significant digits, it would be nice.
Yeah.
Can't you get
So
to
make
UUID
it
least
like-
special?
I believe I'm targeting least at the minute. I can try most. But actually, I believe most is less random.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Oh, maybe it's more random. Never mind.
Really?
I guess I had it backwards. So one of them has UUID for one of them, either most or least, takes into account the version number of the UUID. So encoded within the UUID is a version number
Mm-hmm.
of like what UUID version it is, but only one of the two, either most or least. I thought it was least, which is why I put most, but I guess it's the other way around because it would be the most significant digits of the UUID that it affects. So now it just seems to range between positive and negative 100.
Yeah, that's fancy.
With no weighting.
With no what?
Weighting.
You don't need a
They're
delay
all
from
even.
most things and functions.
They're all even?
Is the number spread between 0 and 100 even?
That's what it looks like.
Okay. And it can be 0. I guess if if the
assume so.
UUID returns 000, then it's just 0.
If the first two digits are 00, then yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I've seen
So
-1, I've seen +1. I would assume 0 would be an option.
percentage chance every hour for every mushroom to summon one? Like 5%? Or do you think less?
Probably yes. How about 1%? So, what's a reasonable amount of mushrooms players keep in like an area?
20?
Yeah, let's say 20, and I would say for those 20, you should have a 1% chance every hour.
Which should be score of GM4 underscore shroom underscore time equals ... 1, right? 1 or less.
So 1/20th, 0.05%.
What's the tag we want to give them if they've already spawned a thing?
You mean the tag we want to give them if they've spawned one and one of the neighbors
Yeah.
spawned one?
Yeah.
Baron.
Used anti-shed shower. Shower lotion.
Baron, there we go.
We're gonna have to remove this tag from all mushrooms every check.
That's fine. I'm putting it right after in main.
Okay.
Right after the branching. I don't remember tags and
Wouldn't it be more efficient if we put that main tag check inside our function?
no, because
special?
then that branching thing I mentioned wouldn't work.
Oh yeah. Oh,
Because
I see.
this
I would
it
have
branches
done.
off. You would have done it in front of like all the commands in here, right? Yeah. So if
Yeah.
because
Or
at this
just,
point
I
that I'm
would have
highlighting
done-
now is when it branches, every mushroom then runs this section
I
for
see.
themselves.
Yeah, I would have split it here.
So
I would have split it into two functions, and that way we could have made tag remove conditional. But I guess it's fine. Special. You said you knew whether it was more efficient if you remove a tag, if you check for the tag inside the selector. Is it or isn't it more efficient?
I don't believe it's more efficient because then it doesn't have to check. It just runs through the whole list, tries to remove it, and if it doesn't find it, it just moves on to the next. Just fine.
Do you think a distance of 5 for nearby mushrooms, or should I make it bigger?
I think that seems good.
Seems good, yeah.
Just a thing, the if score is a lot faster than using a selector.
Okay.
Oh, it is. Oh, good to know.
Like using, or at least supposedly using like if score like this is better than doing if entity
Yeah.
and then
we've
putting it into there.
got
Because then it has to
that-
run through the entity list.
We've got 2 of those under under main MC function.
Well, if you're doing a score check and something else, then it's,
Fair enough.
I would think, better to do just all of them in a row. Like if you're branching off to something like in the execute as everyone with a certain score, I think that's fine. Then you don't have to go execute as execute as everyone if the score themselves is a thing. I think that probably more checks because it also has to do the if score section. But if you're just doing a selector to check the score, it's better to use if score.
Mizot says, remember to check if the block below is valid.
Yeah.
Yes, we should do that.
Is it supposed to be negative? If it's negative? Because that's what this is right now.
Uh,
'Cause right now it's just less than 1, and it was less than 1 a lot of the time. Unless we wanted to do like... like that, negative 10 to 10. That'd be approximately a 10% chance. So I really gotta go soon.
Shroom rootable is what we want, isn't it?
no, it's spore spreadable.
To place a new shroom.
Yep.
Spore spreadable.
Yep. I guess we'd have to check for shroom rootable as well. Shroom rootable is whether the shroom can be placed within the block space. So if there's like tall grass there, it can be placed, but if there's like a trapdoor there, it cannot.
Yeah, Blue did all the magic block tag stuff. Blue did all the
Oh, you're
block
right,
tag.
yeah.
Oh, we're doing it right in there. Alright, gotcha.
It would probably be more efficient if we swap these around. Because shroom rootable is a way smaller table
Yeah.
than spore
You could make a
spreadable.
tag that includes both of those.
I could, but it's in
Like-
different positions.
Oh, never mind then. I thought it was the same position. You were checking 2 different tags. The sunflowers have not been spreaded to because sunflowers are magic and block spores.
Yes, but keep in mind that spores can fly in from above or fly over the sunflowers.
Yeah. That's why they haven't. That's why this spot in here is safe.
Mizot says, I'm not sure if that check will work because I remember execute schedules all its entities first and then goes on to the next chain command. But you'll have to check. And then he says, if
Unless
store
it doesn't
does-
work as
does-
it
does-
would make sense to me. Because it shouldn't take when it branches to the many entities, it shouldn't run through each individual argument of the rest of the execute command one at a time. It shouldn't go all of the if blocks for all the cows and then all of the if scores and then all of the run section. It should do the rest per line, I would think. We are using Atom, which has had a few issues, but not as many as people claim, but there should be alternatives we also want to look at that may be nicer.
Yes,
It has a teletype thingy, which is cool.
are we ready to go then?
Why are the sunflowers?
Let's try it,
Why
because
are
I
the
have like a
sunflowers
couple minutes.
not being spreaded to? Because they block the spores and act like a wall. Because we think that would be cool.
Why are the sunflowers not being spreaded to? Because they are magic and they block spores.
Yeah.
Alright, so are we ready, Special?
We need to save
Yep,
Shroom
let's
Shred.
give it a shot.
Shroom Shed. It's not saved.
Sounds like some type of weird heavy metal band.
Shroom Shred.
I'm sure we forgot something. Alright, I'm
sure.
reloading.
We're gonna have to wait a long time
Oh,
to watch
there's
these
an error.
guys.
Where's the error? Function shroom
Could not
chat.
load Shroom Shred. Shroom shed.
Line 3, position elf. 11.
Elf.
Execute if.
Line 3. Did you already
Almond?
correct the line number, or are we line 2?
That was corrected in 1.13.1.
Oh, nice.
Oh, really? Oh, that's so nice.
If. What does it say? Incorrect argument for command. Execute if.
I can't see the console log right now.
Huh. Can't you do if score? Maybe Mizot.
You can.
Knows how to fix it. If you tag the mushroom in the function, it will still run it for all the mushrooms, because when it ran the execute, they all didn't have the tag. Blocks.
Yeah, but that's not running in. It's
Blocks them
because
from
it's
check.
not running in parallel. It's running in series. No, not even. It's just running straight down.
Just running weirdly.
Unless when it branches in a very strange manner. This should work.
If score. Why doesn't this work?
Try loading again.
Reloading again.
Yeah.
Reload. Taking a look at the console again. And again. Line 3, position 11. In room chat.
6, 7.
Execute if. I'm just waiting for Mizzo to tell us what we did wrong. He usually knows this stuff because it's Gamemode 4. I will restart my Adam real quick. Maybe it's a weird desync again.
Oh, you know what it might be? I've got little spinning things next to my things. I'm going to restart Atom as well.
Oh no, just click him again and do Control
Yeah,
and
just
S again.
if you click the arrow next to the sidebar, it'll refresh.
No.
You can also just open the thing where the spinning thing is and click Control S again.
Yeah, it's not actually saving it. Good thing I still have it cached. Woohoo.
So yeah, I need to close and reopen.
You don't need to.
Okay, what are you telling me to do?
Just click on the files that don't save and then save them again. That worked for me earlier.
Nope. They're still spinning.
Okay.
Last time I had this problem, the
I've-
only way I could fix it was restarting Atom.
I've saved it from my end.
Okay, I'm just... I think...
Just
But
don't
I
worry
don't
about
know
it.
if
Special saves it from his end.
Okay.
It's still got an error though for no good.
Did you reload it again?
Yeah, I
There's
reloaded.
no error anymore. Special?
Not?
Nope.
Maybe my console's just not updating. Ah, there we go. It wasn't.
Alright, now we should see something. Really rarely, once an hour.
Did you set it to the thousands? Because I set the number to like 100 for testing.
I didn't set anything. Alright guys, the stream will now continue on for a couple of hours.
Yeah. I guess we can leave them
Alright.
overnight and see what happens.
We can advance them,
Okay.
don't worry.
I actually gotta like really head out though.
Yeah. Alright,
So,
Alright, well, thanks, Special.
Yeah. I'll see you guys later.
see you, Special. So Sprux, we want to advance this counter now.
Why is
Oh, we
the
might as well.
GM4 shroom countdown number going up?
Oh, it's more of a count up.
Because it's a count up, and I didn't like the word count up.
Okay. But that's the one we're
Alright,
using
so-
for this.
Yep, that's the one we're using, and
Okay.
it's supposed to hit 2880. Can we just kill all the shrooms that shouldn't influence it, right? We need to add a say command to it that tells us once something spawned. I will save things from my end, because you are desync probably.
Yeah, I don't think... Without restarting Atom, I can't work anymore in it.
You might restart it, or we just enter stream here. And
We
I
could-
work on this
Yeah,
off stream.
I think we're pretty much done with the mechanics. It's just testing whether it works.
Before we end this, we should probably show people on the server how fast it spreads. Oh, cool! Actually placed some cows in here.
Oh yeah, nice. And they're being converted. So this has been going for the whole stream, has it?
Yep.
So that's
You gotta keep in mind that the closer the blocks are to the mushroom, the faster they convert. Like, it doesn't take the mushroom long at all to convert these couple of blocks.
yeah.
See converted here, but it takes a long time to fill out like the entire area.
Move out of the way a second. I want to take a screenshot of this. Nice.
Sure.
I'm done.
How's our experiment back here going? Still happily spreading. It's really, really slow though.
Yeah. So that little patch over there was almost 2 hours of spreading. Got it that far. So yeah, it's slow, but it's also kind of pretty and a pain if you spot one and you have to root it out.
I'm looking forward to seeing players tackle these if they are playing on the server with a mushroom farm somewhere, and then the plague spreads out from there.
Yeah. How well do you think you could... Like, if a spore is against a wall and it tries to move in the direction of the wall, it doesn't move at all, right? It just stays there. But that counts as a step.
No, that doesn't work. If you got like a spore here
Yeah.
at the moment and it tries to move again, it will spawn cloud. It will move
Okay.
to these spots,
So it'll always move.
and it will just ignore the spot. Yeah, it will always move.
What happens if you trap a spore?
Don't just stay there.
Okay, it just stays there. Does it still count down?
Yeah, it does.
Okay. Interesting. So, yeah. So you can't funnel them along a very narrow, valid path.
Well, technically you can.
You can.
If you got, like, if you had a shroom here, in this location, it would spawn its first spore in this location, and then you could wait for it to move to this location because it can't go anywhere else, and place blocks
Okay.
here, here, and here.
Yeah, so you can
that way
manually
you
force it like that. And I suppose if you have a stop breaking. If you have a stop placing. If you have a column like this, it's like 50% more likely that it's going to end up over here because it has half as many directions it can go, but it can still like double back on itself and it'll do this kind of thing.
Yeah, it will do that.
So you can kind of direct it a little bit, but
it's hard. I tried it earlier and it was really hard.
Okay, interesting.
But this is pretty impressive. Like, it took it 48 hours to spread this far.
God of Sound, yes, they do spread away. They get deleted by water.
Oh, we could show that possibly. Like, if you just grab yourself a cobweb, because water is pretty messy. Just get a cobweb. Water will destroy all my stuff. There you go. It will work for water and lava as well, but cobwebs are less messy. So if you place a cobweb there, it will capture all the spores that go into it. And
so there's a spore right
die.
here. You can see all the particles. If we do this, It's gone.
Technically speaking, this works with every block, so like you could use any solid block and place it inside a spore to kill it.
Okay.
But if you come over here, unfortunately we can't see the shadow anymore. It was really nice when we first set this up. I mentioned this earlier. When we first set this up, there was only this room here. And since spores, they consider cobwebs and lava and water and snow layers, by the way, as blocks they can move into. So they will happily move into it, but then they will die in there. So these 3 cobwebs, they cast like a shadow of no spores, and if I just grab some glass. In the early stages of this testing setup, we had like a shadow cast by these cobwebs. It looked something like this, where there was no mycelium on this blue side over here, because these cobwebs killed it all. But at some point, this mushroom was spawned, and then they kind of got around the cobwebs.
Yeah. Cool. Well, I think that's probably good to wrap up the stream here then.
Yep. I guess so. Thank you all for watching, and thank you for pulling through with us through our thinking periods with those randomizers. It's really important to us to optimize Gamemode 4 as much as possible, because on the one hand, we want every player to be able to run these functions, as well as to be able to run as many of these as possible. And on the other hand, it's just a sign of quality. Like, creating functions isn't that hard, but creating them properly, we just want to ensure our functions are properly crafted.
We've learnt the hard way that not being efficient is really bad, especially for Gamemode 4 when you have so many different modules to combine. Our experiences with Hermitcraft Gamemode 4 taught us a lot. They taught us a sharp and pleasant lesson. I think we knew a lot already at the time, but we learned even more just from it, on how important this efficiency stuff is.
Even though it's minor.
So I know it sounds like we're arguing about like 2 ways of doing the same command for a long time, but it's interesting to try and keep efficiency up, because it's a small part of a large system and every little bit adds. All these baby cows that just clustered around this cow here.
They are baby cows?
Yeah, over here. In the stands.
Oh, I guess because people could click it.
Yeah.
Has Jim come up with a name for the turtle? I'm still looking for a name for the turtle.
I saw one suggestion, which was the... can't see it anymore. Oh, the myrtle.
Nurtle. But that doesn't come back every couple of years, and it isn't painfully slow. Plus, it sounds like the German Chancellor.
Angela Myrtle. Yeah. What about a boomerang in Jello?
Well, I was talking to Special earlier. We came up with measles.
Measles.
Yeah.
I see.
But that's kind of rude.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry to break it to you, but I don't think you guys came up with measles. They've been around for a long time. And I'm not sure you want to go spreading that you came up with that.
Our dolphins are suicidal. I don't think they like the enclosure.
Yeah. Okay, well, we'll wrap it up here then.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching, guys.
Thanks for
Thank
watching.
you for your input and suggestions and talking to us to stop us going entirely mad.
See ya.
Bye.